Welcome once again, everyone, to Maths by Gurpreet Sekho, where maths is made easy by me, and I'm pretty much sure it becomes easy for you as well. So far, we have been doing the differentiability chapter of class 12th NCERT mathematics, and we are done with our exercise 5.5 as well. Now we are ready to move to the exercise 5.6. Exercise 5.8 is the easiest exercise that I personally find very easy because it includes the derivatives of parametric functions. Now, what are parametric functions? In these kind of functions, we have to find dy upon dx ultimately, but the value of x is given in the terms of another function and the value of y is given in the terms of another function. So we have the values of x and y, and by differentiating those values of x and y, we have to find dy upon dx. For example, y is given as a function of t and x is also given as a function of t, but we have to find dy upon dx. But you cannot differentiate y with respect to x directly because it's a function of t. That is why in this case we will write it like dy upon dt multiply by dt upon dx. So what will you do? You will differentiate y with respect to t, and then you will differentiate x with respect to t, and then you will reciprocate the result of differentiation of x with respect to t, so you will get dt upon dx. Then multiply both of the results and you will get the desired result as dy upon dx. Okay, so without any delay, let's start with the examples of this exercise. And before starting, I would really recommend you to subscribe my channel if you haven't subscribed it yet, in order to get new updates on a regular basis. Alright, we are good to go with our very first example of exercise 5.6, that is example 34. In this, we have to find dy by dx, but the value of x is given in terms of theta and that of y is also given in terms of theta. So we will be following the same pattern as I have told you previously in order to find dy upon dx. Firstly, what is x? That is a cos theta. And we will differentiate x with respect to theta because it's a function of theta. So dx upon d theta will be equal to, now a is constant and cos theta will be differentiated with respect to theta. You will get minus of sine theta, and the result you will get ultimately is minus a sine theta. Now what's y? Y is a sine theta. When you will differentiate y with respect to theta, you will get a of cos theta because a is constant, so it will be out of the differential. Only sine theta will be differentiated with respect to theta. Clear? Now we have dx by d theta, dy upon d theta. Now what is dy by dx equal to? It is equal to dy upon d theta multiply d theta upon dx. Clear? Dy upon d theta, that is a of cos theta. Now we have dx upon d theta, but we require d theta upon dx. So this result will be reciprocated and you will get 1 upon minus a of sine theta. Clear? Now a and a will be cancelled out and you will get cos upon sine. Now what's cos upon sine? That is cot and subtraction sign. So minus of cot theta will be the required result, which is equal to dy upon dx. So that is why I told you in the very beginning of this video that parametric functions, the differentiation of parametric functions is very much easy because you must be knowing only the differentiation of simple functions, trigonometric or inverse trigonometric, and you then you just have to multiply the both of the results, and one in the simple form, one in the reciprocal form, in order to get dy by dx. So we are done with the 34th exercise. Let's move to the 34th example, and let's move to the 35th example. As it's already written, you have to find dy upon dx, and now this time x is a function of t, y is a function of t. So be very careful while choosing a differential and just have a look, very clear look, that in which function x is belonging and to which function y is belonging. Okay, so that is why x is a function of t, y is also a function of t in this case. What is our x equal to? X is equal to at square, and we'll differentiate it with respect to t only. So a is constant. What's the differentiation of 2t square? That is 2t. You will get 2at as the answer. Now what is y equal to? Y is equal to 2at, and when you will differentiate it with respect to t, you will get 2a is the constant and the differentiation of t with respect to t will be 1 only. Then again, what is dy upon dx equal to in this case? That is dy upon dt multiply dt upon dx. In your book, they have divided both of the results, but I think that multiplying both of the results is a more simpler way. But you need to know, only you need to keep that thing in mind, that you have to just find the reciprocal of dx upon dt results. So now dy upon dt is equals to 2a. What's dt upon dx? That is 1 upon 2at. Now 2 and a will be cancelled out. Your answer will be only 1 upon t. Clear? Let's move to the next example. It's pretty much similar. We have to find dy upon dx, and x is given equal to a theta plus sine theta, and y is equal to a 1 minus cos theta. Now just think that x is a function of what and y is a function of what? Yes, you can clearly see that x is a function of theta and y is also a function of theta. So our differential will be d by d theta only. Firstly, what is a equal to? That is a theta plus sine theta, and dx upon d theta will be equal to the differentiation of this. A is constant, so it will remain outside the differential only. What's the differentiation of theta? That is 1, because it's with respect to theta only. And what's the differentiation of sine theta? That is cos theta. Clear? We have found the dx upon d theta differential. Now what is y equal to? That is a 1 minus cos theta. Differentiate it with respect to theta, you will get a outside the differential again because it's a constant. Now what's the differentiation of 1? Of course 0. And what's the differentiation of cos theta? That is minus sine theta, and one subtraction sign is over here already, so minus minus will be added, and you will get sine theta only, and your answer will be a of sine theta. Now what is our dy by dx equal to? As always, dy upon d theta multiply by d theta upon dx. Clear? What's dy upon d theta? That is a of sine theta. And what is d theta upon dx? Oh, there is 1 in the denominator of course. And what's d theta upon dx? That is 1 upon a 1 plus cos theta. Now a and a will be cancelled. You will get sine theta upon 1 plus cos theta. Now you can leave the answer till here only, but it's actually making the identity of tan theta upon 2. Okay, so you can also write it equal to tan of theta upon 2 because the angle is halved in this identity. That is, but if you leave it until here only, it will also be counted as a correct. So don't worry about that you don't know the identity or what. Just simplify it as much as you can. Okay, so this was the 36th example, and all of these examples are very much similar. I can see, and you can also see that these are very similar to each other. I have already written the example 37. We have to find dy upon dx, and the equation is given x raised to power 2 upon 3 plus y raised to power 2 upon 3 is equals to a raised to power 2 upon 3. Now in my previous videos, we have learned the logarithmic differentiation concept, and most of these students must be thinking that now we will apply logarithmic differentiation. But let me tell you, that was to be applied in the case where variable is the power of variable, or the variable is power of any constant. But in this sum, there is constant as a power of variable, and it's a very normal thing, it's a very common thing. That is why we'll not apply logarithmic differentiation. It can only be solved by parametric form only. But the thing is, we don't know the value of x and y in any other function. So firstly, we have to find the value of x and y which are satisfying these equation. So we will consider those values of x and y as to be true values. So now x raised to power 2 upon 3, we will consider a function like the power of the function is 3, because then 3 will be cancelled out, and only square will be remaining, and we will be hopefully getting it equal to a raised to power 2 by 3, because we have to make this equation to be satisfied with those values. So firstly, just think a bit and let x is equals to a of cos cube theta and y is equals to a of sine cube theta. Now you will get to know that why we have chosen these values. Now put it in the equation. You will get x, that is a cos cube theta raised to power 2 by 3 plus y, that is a sine cube theta, I'm sorry, a sine cube theta, which is raised to power 2 by 3. Now don't write the right hand side because we have to prove this thing equal to the right hand side. You will get a raised to power 2 by 3, then cos. When cos cube will be multiplied by 2 by 3, 3 will be cancelled out. You will only be left with cos square theta plus again a raised to power 2 by 3 and again sine square theta. Now what is the common factor here? That is a raised to power 2 by 3. You will get cos square theta plus sine square theta. Now everyone knows sine square theta plus cos square theta is equals to 1. You will get a raised to power 2 by 3, which is equal to RHS. So these values are satisfying this equation. That is why we will only take these values as the parametric equations. So as you know, what else we will do? Of course, we will only differentiate both of these values with respect to theta. You will get dx upon d theta, that is a will be constant and it will only remain outside, and you will differentiate cos cube theta with respect to theta. Okay, what will you get? Of course, the power will come before cos. 3 of cos theta, cos square theta, and the differentiation of cos theta will happen again, and cos theta differentiation is minus of sine theta. The similar thing you will do with the value of y. You will find dy upon d theta, that is a d theta of sine cube theta. What will you get? A multiply 3 sine square theta, and what's the differentiation of sine theta? That is cos theta. Simplify it a little bit. You will get minus 3a sine theta cos square theta, and this you will get equal to 3a sine square theta and cos theta. Now what do we do after these values? Dy upon dx is equals to dy upon d theta multiply by d theta upon dx. Clear? Dy upon d theta, that is 3a sine square theta cos theta, and what is the value of d theta upon dx? The reciprocal of dx upon d theta, you will get 1 upon minus 3a sine theta cos square theta. Now cancel the like terms. 3 will be cancelled out, a and a will be cancelled out, 1 sine will cancel and 1 cos will cancel. You will be remaining with minus of sine theta upon cos theta. Ultimately you will get minus of tan theta as your answer. So this was the last example. Sometimes you have to think about the values and then you can find the value of dy by dx. Now as you can see that we have found dy upon dx is equals to minus of tan theta, but in the statement it was not at all, theta was never given. So that is why sometimes you have to think about some of the equations and then you can get the value of dy by dx or any other desired value. So just you have to be sharp with the thinking as well. With this we are done with the exercise 5.6 examples, and I am sure that you will be able to solve the sums by yourself. But still, if you find any problem with any of the sum in this chapter or any other chapter of any class from 9th to 12th, feel free to just drop it in the comment section so that I will also feel more than happy to assist you with your problems. So before leaving, don't forget to press the subscribe button and the bell icon in order to get new updates from my channel regularly, and keep practicing mathematics because this subject requires a lot of practice, I must say. So best luck with your practice.